it was, and what a time it was. A time of innocence, a time of confidences. Long ago it must be, I have a photograph. Preserve your memories, they're all that's left you. Last February, I was invited down to sing at a specific party in Phoenix, Arizona. And it was a very special occasion for me, too, although it was a most special occasion for the people involved. You see, it was my grandma and grandpa, and it was their 50th wedding anniversary. And that was a pretty big deal, because I guess today a lot of people, I guess just about everybody gets married these days. Maybe it lasts 1 or 2 or 3 years. But some people, they have 25th wedding anniversary, their 30th, 35, maybe 40, and some people get to 45, but very, very few make it to 50. And so it was really a big deal to them, and they wanted to have all of their friends down for a big party they were going to have on that night. And I've become very close, I think, to my grandma and grandpa. This is my grandmother-in-law and grandfather-in-law, I suppose you would say. They've heard me sing several times around the country, and they really wanted more than anything in the world to have me come down and sing at this party for all of their friends. So I went down, and I think except for my wife and her two little sisters and little brother and her mom and dad, that everybody that was at this party was about at least 55, 60, 65 years old. And there were about 115, 20 people there. And it was really neat, gang. I learned a lot of things about old people that night that I hadn't even thought of before. The most impressing fact that was laid in front of me was that old people have got dirty minds. You see? Well, wait a minute. You see, now, I got down there, and we had this, this big room all set up very beautifully. We were having supper and everything, and after dinner, everybody was going to toast the, grandpa and grandma, and a few people had some things that they wanted to say, and they got up and they were telling stuff about the fact, like Jim, their only son, who was my father-in-law, that he was standing at the back of the church when they got married, and they had one group of people brought him a beautifully framed cartoon from Playboy magazine that I had seen before, and it's just the funniest thing in the world. They gave it to these people, these old, and see, grandma and grandpa are in their late 70s, and it's you may have seen it. It was two people sitting on the front porch of this old ramshackle house, has home sweet home over the porch, and they're sitting there, kind of rocking back and forth, and the old lady turns to the old man and says, "You never sock it to me anymore." And I couldn't believe all the stuff that they were saying. And I wish I remember specifically. I remember some of the punchlines, but it wouldn't do with us. I could tell you the whole story. But I couldn't believe it, you guys, because look, admit it. I mean, you can't picture your grandma doing it. Right? It's impossible, It's bad enough to think of your parents that way, and so anyway, they're all carrying on and stuff like that, and it was a great party. It started at 6:30 and lasted until 9. And they all went home. I guess they had things to do or whatever. But it was really a beautiful experience for me because, as I say, there were over 100 people there, and all of them in their 60s, 70, 80 years old, and as old as they were in years, they were so very, very young in their hearts. They live in a sort of a retired people's trailer court down there, and there's something going on all the time. They have square dances and shuffleboard contests, and they all play golf and this, that, and the other. If I could walk around a golf course as fast as my grandfather, I'd feel pretty good. He can't beat me, though. Anyway, I really enjoyed being there, and it was the joy of the occasion, the happiness that everybody felt was really pointed out to me the next day. I had to catch a very early plane to fly back to New York City. And while we were waiting to get on the plane, it had just about come time to go, and they started wheeling out several old people in wheelchairs. There were about 7 of them, and they came out. They were wheeled out to the plane. They had to be carried up the steps into the plane and placed in their seats like little children. And it was really very, very sad to me, because I have some people in my experiences, I'm sure everybody here does, some old people that I know that are very, very old. They're just as old in their minds and their hearts as they are in years. And that to me is just about the saddest thing in the world. So I'd like to do a song for you about old people. It was written by Jacques Brel, who is Belgian. And it's a song about old people. Not about old people like my grandparents who play golf all the time and ski and everything. But it's a song about the type of people that they were wheeling out on that plane. The people who were shut away in homes someplace outside of Chicago, various and sundry places.